next thing I need to show you is a bull's testicle.
Oh my God.
Okay, where do I begin? All right, what's going to happen is if I hang on to the top part, all of this area will be the spermatic cord.
The top part?
The top part. Now, normally surrounding, I obviously don't have a scrotum here because I would have needed the rest of the ball. So there's no fur covering. This covering is called the tunica vaginalis. Okay? So this is one of the most protective coverings, and it normally has 2 layers to it. As long as you can identify the fact that this is the tunica vaginalis, we're good. This being the spermatic cord. Now, what will happen is you will be able to see a little bit of muscle right here. If it looks like the diaphragm muscle, that is actually the cremaster muscle that would cause the testes to ascend and descend. So, cremaster will be right there. Again, the function of the cremaster is for protection. So the bull won't hit his testes as he's walking. It's going to cause them to elevate, to get closer to the body core. All right? Now, obviously, in the human, you also do have a cremaster muscle. It's an extension of your internal oblique muscle. So it just goes through the inguinal canal, so the testes will lie inside the scrotum, external to the body. The cremaster, again, will cause the testes to ascend and descend. Now, within the spermatic cord, you're going to have the spermatic artery, the spermatic veins, and the nerves, and the ductus deferens. So you basically have 4 structures within your spermatic cord. When we look at the cat, we'll be able to see those structures equally as well. So let's take off our tunica vaginalis. What you can see now is a C-shaped structure. This is the head of the epididymis. This is the body of the epididymis. And this is the tail of the epididymis. So the epididymis has 3 parts: a head, a body, and a tail. The tail is kind of bulbous. You can see it down here a little bit easier.
Does it cut in half too, the epididymis? Because I see like is
Yeah,
that
but
part
that's
of it there?
No, that's something else. That's another structure. Okay, so it's a good question because your epididymis, again, is going to be more C-shaped. From the epididymis, the semen will travel into the ductus deferens. The ductus deferens is always going to have a sigmoid pattern in it, always. So from head, body, tail, everything gets discharged from the tail into the ductus deferens. Then this is going to have to be protected so it travels up with the spermatic cord. Make sense? Now, let's go deep. We know that this, obviously, if this is the epididymis, this is the testi, or testis. Inside, you will see a very spongy material. Those are the seminiferous tubules. In a human male, there's 700 feet of seminiferous tubule. So that's one of the reasons why males will produce as many sperm as they do. They can keep producing into their 80s and 90s. Of course, 20% of the ejaculate is going to be slightly abnormal. So the sperm might have two tails, so they'll swim in circles. You know, but again, a good 20% of it is slightly malformed. So seminiferous tubules in here. This is where you're going to produce the sperm as well as the testosterone. It then obviously would be transported up through ductus efferens to go into the epididymis. I cannot show you ductus efferens. Don't expect to see it. I can show you ductus deferens. At the top, you'll see a bunch of little holes. Those little tubes are actually to cool the arterial blood before it gets into the testes. That's known as the pampiniform plexus. Again, its function is to cool the blood. So we don't have to worry about it being too warm so the sperm will malform. Okay? So you can see tag marks here. If the tag mark is there, what are you going to call that? Seminiferous tubules. Now, if this is vaginalis, albuginia is going to have a worm-like pattern in it as well. This is the tunica albuginia. So two tunics, one vaginalis, this one that's going to be superficial to the testis itself is the albuginia. Questions? Okay. Now, normally what you would see is you would actually see a central canal, and that's where everybody with their nurse cells moves the sperm along, so it can go to the epididymis. But if we tag the center, it is going to be the seminiferous tubules. Okay? Questions on this? Anything unusual?